Questlove?
Yeah, well, I kind of have a question because the trend that I'm seeing now, a great example of what he said, where 50 Cent recently did a song with Jeremiah that I think had about maybe 5 to 6 million. The video for it got 5 to 6 million hits on YouTube. It was VEVO. But then 50 Cent also appeared in a viral video of a kid lip singing it. And it speaks wonders that that particular version, that song of 50 Cent lip singing his own song in a kid's bedroom, got close to, I believe, 35 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, like over 7 times. And even in the case of, there's an act from Boston called Carmen Music. Most people know them for covering Chris Brown and Busta Rhymes' Look at Me Now, and they do other covers as well. They just signed an Epic. But it also speaks wonders that they're very simply shot, one camera cover songs actually get more hits in rotation and now downloads than the actual artist that they're covering. So you're entering a new stage of promotion where sometimes the home video, which is more accessible as far as who you're seeing, is more engaging and more enlightening than the actual artist to whom you would spend $11.99 on in iTunes or Amazon. So there's a sort of a new wave of do-it-yourself that seems to be winning as far as views are concerned.
I agree. I think that's there's nothing wrong with any of that. It just embodies that ultimately the user is in charge, and they'll vote and do whatever they want to do, whether you want them to do it or not. And the idea, I think what's fascinating to me, and to shift the topic a little bit, is if you look at where we are as a medium, right? So right now, what are we doing as a society? We're putting music videos on the internet. That's not particularly innovative. We're putting movies on the web. We're putting TV shows on the web. We're putting concerts on the web, right? We're doing all those things, and they're not in and by themselves not inherently innovative because they're not native to the medium, right? Unstaged is an example of trying to recreate a live experience in a new way, but if you look at the creation of television, nobody knew what to put on television when television was invented. So what did they put on television? What came before television was radio, theater, and the idea of taking the past and the familiar and projecting it into the future. And so where we are as a society is we don't know what constitutes native programming on the web yet, but we're just taking what we knew from the past and pushing it into the future. But a music video that I put on VEVO is no different than it was in 1979 or 1983 or 1987. It's a flat video file. It doesn't know what my likes and dislikes are. It doesn't know if the artist wants to change it 3 months or 3 days later. They don't have the means of easily doing so. It doesn't know whether it's raining in Seattle or whether the stock market is up or down. And so it's not conscious of that it's on the internet. It's not aware of its time and of its place of being. And so videos will become, I think, more aware of their surroundings, and that will become a new avenue of artistic expression, right, where artists can take advantage of that if they want to, and fans can take advantage of it if they want to. And you could still have a linear, passive viewing experience, or you can have an active experience if that's what you want or the artist intended. So I think that the medium is ripe for reinvention, and it's that kind of renaissance period that I think we're living in right now.
Rich, tell us, what is your pie-in-the-sky goal for this, for the Unstaged project, in terms of how many bands you'd be working with, how many of these concerts would we see online in a year or two? What are the projections for that?
To this, I mean, we do a lot of events and a lot of digital, but to this level and working with great artists and directors and the efforts that we put into, we probably do about six a year, because these are just really big events. But I think there's other models that we could, that we will be deploying, and they don't necessarily have to be to this level of production, but the same quality. We don't want the quality suffer, and interactivity, and again, but you want to take it to different models, different levels of interactivity that fans are really enjoy interacting with and doing. Whether we do, there's a social conversation around the world happening. We need to make it easier. You could be easily do much more geo kind of targeting with the social aspects and really building out the technologies. And we do 3 camera angles now, but you can do, there's infinite how many you can do with that with technology. But figuring out ways to make it more social, more interactive, and increase the enjoyment. All of the ways that we view will combine in different ways, whether it's on a computer, what we call a TV today. But technology will change, and that's what we just wanted to keep going with it and finding new ways for people to experience it and to really enjoy it.
What's it going to cost to put on one of these events? You're going to tell us all, aren't you?
Yes, it's all very, very cheap. No. It's a sizable effort. It takes effort, but it's a sizable return when people, a sizable audience around the world is participating and engaging with it in so many different ways. So it really does. It pays off if you can do it the right way and work with incredible partners that really know what they're doing. We're not in. We wouldn't know what to do with YouTube and VEVO and all of our other partners that really have taught us how to use mediums in a different way, and multiple mediums and not just one, because that's the trick. It's very complex. It takes a lot of effort.
And so the idea is to make up that revenue by aggregating some advertising around it. Is that the plan?
Not necessarily. Again, for us, it's really about loyalty. So we can ultimately monetize some of the content distribution in the traditional channels, whether it's DVD or video content distribution or other mechanisms. But and maybe we'll do that, because I think these are incredible experiences. But the premise is not to have to do that. The premise is really to engage with fans around the world and again, hopefully introduce them to our brand. And if they're our customers, have a deeper level engagement. And we'll build more card member programs that are associated with that our card members can experience. That is a little different than the full base, but ultimately that is the goal.
Robert, I want to ask you, because Rio and Questlove were talking about this notion of the serendipity of the one-hit wonder that the digital age has fostered. You get this kid in the bedroom who makes the video, and it goes viral, and 20 million people are watching it. OK Go goes around their record label, makes a video on a treadmill, and becomes a major touring band as a result of that. With this whole notion of curation, the word has been tossed around a lot today at this conference. Does that mitigate against the idea of that sort of serendipitous thing? If everything's being curated, and who are the curators, who are the tastemakers, who are the new gatekeepers? Are we creating a new layer for these one-hit wonders to go through, and that may not, maybe they won't get heard now if people are curating every experience that we're having? When does that go too far? How do you sort of find a middle ground there?
Well, I would say I don't think we'll fundamentally do away with what YouTube does today. That will continue to grow, and we're just adding additional layer to it. So it's not something that we're replacing. So we're building on top of it. I think you will continue to see a lot of one-hit wonders. We just hope that they're actually not one-hit wonders and that they'll produce many hits. And that is truly our goal, because what we want to make sure is that these wonders, that they start making a lot more money, because ultimately it's economics that drive sustainable behavior. And if they see that there is true monetizable outlet for their art, because it's art, right? It is what the kid in the bedroom did. It's art. Mm-hmm. He figured out a different way to engage an audience, right? Art is how do you engage an audience and keep them watching and have them come back? I mean, he has a lot of other videos with millions and millions of views. Mm-hmm. So he has turned it into a sustainable enterprise, essentially, for himself. And that's wonderful to see. Curation helps people who search for certain topics for certain demographic programming to find it easier and find adjacent content that they can engage with for a longer time. So I think these two are not mutually exclusive. They're very complementary.
So I want everybody to go back after the conference, go to your bedrooms, do a karaoke version of a Roots song, and send it directly to Robert and Rio. They can get you on video tonight. We want to thank the panel for very enlightening comments. We're being told to wrap it up, but thank you very much.
Thank you.